Hello, hello, and welcome to all of our fun yoga adventures this evening. I am Janelle, just trying to work on my video, making sure things are up and running here. So I think I've got it all going and happening. Cool. Oh, hang on. Perfect. Cool. Okay. I think I have my phone going, things on the laptop going. We're good. So welcome. Great to have you guys with me this evening. Let me just back on up so that you can not watch me be in the dark here. Look, a little bit of light, trying out some brighter colors, even though we've got a dreary day. I hope you guys had a wonderful Easter weekend and you're back into your new routine of whatever your regular Tuesdays look like. So thanks for joining in this evening. We're going to do some yoga tonight. We've got a gentle flow-ish thing happening this evening. So roll out your mat. Let's get ready to get started and jump on in. Hey Donna, great to have you with me tonight. So grateful. You've been so consistent. So kudos if you're using this quarantine time to build maybe some new habits like some movement or activity every day or whatever that looks like for you. I think this is kind of, I don't know, you always got to look for the blessings and for the positive side of everything. So I'm using this quarantine time, although I'm working substantially less, not at a yoga studio, to just figure out my own practice. And it's been really neat to be at home and doing yoga. I found a little bit of freedom in my own expectations of what I think a pose or my quote unquote performance. I don't want to say performance, but what if I'm practicing at a studio, I definitely am aware that there's other people around me, which it can be really positive. I really like that atmosphere and environment and the challenge of that, but it's also been very interesting to have the freedom to play around. I fell out of a pose this morning and I scared my dog, which was hilarious, but I didn't care. So that was really cool. So I just went for it, gave it a try, and kind of lost my balance and tipped over a little bit. It was, maybe we'll do it this evening and I can show you guys, but yeah, it was really cool. So kudos to you if you guys are working on new habits or trying something new like yoga. So I try to do these classes so that they are beginner friendly, or if you do have a little bit more of a practice, you can still kind of get your groove on. So if you know anyone that could benefit from these, feel free to let them know. I do them every night at 8. Just consistently. I figured that was the easiest schedule because then you could remember, so you don't have to keep track of what day it is. So let's get ready for some movement and whatnot. Let's start really in whatever position you would like to this evening. Start to connect in with the breath. So whether you want to be seated or lying down, those are some great options. If like right now I'm sitting on my feet, you probably might not be able to hold that the entire pre-Shavasana time. That's definitely not an expectation. So if you want to sit cross-legged, or if you want to even sit with your legs extended long or on a little stool, or if you've got a little block, if you've got any props at home, props are fantastic for your own practice. I don't cue to them tons, mostly because I assume most people don't have them, but maybe I can increase that because that'll just make things a little bit more accessible. No, my mommy says hi. Hi, Lorna. Great to have you with me tonight as well. You're just the best. So supportive. All right, so let's connect in. Let's take that nice big inhale breath. Exhaling, letting it go. Maybe side out. Maybe you need to take a couple more of those. Big inhale. And exhale. Using those inhales to lift and lengthen, and those exhales to relax, to soften. We can use our breath for activating into a pose, that exhale to tighten and engage, or to kind of let things go and soften. So maybe playing around with that a little bit, using that big inhale breath. Then on that exhale, you roll your shoulders back and down, finding that length through the crown of the head. Maybe the chin is ever so slightly tucked. If you're laying down, reclined, maybe you want to bend through the knees, giving that low back a chance to connect in with the floor or the mat. If it's tight or however you might be feeling this evening, you can send the legs long. Keep connecting in with that breath, starting to build that awareness. That's what this whole pre-movement time is for, taking some moment. The yoga term is centering, or it's just connecting and being aware of how you're feeling, maybe physically or emotionally. What kind of baggage are you even bringing onto your own mat? What stresses of the day are still lingering or weighing heavy on you? Can we start to just place them there? We're not letting go of that responsibility. We can still deal with things completely, either through our practice or afterwards, but taking some time to really start to scan the body, scanning through, noticing what feels open and good. If you want to have some gratitude in your practice this evening, or you can find those areas of tension and tightness, those shadowy areas. And it's not so much about shaming or being mad at yourself for having shadowy areas. I think we're all going to have them. But once you start to become aware of them and recognize them, then you can bring the light to the shadow. So it's not about making it needing to disappear, but even just the acknowledging of it can start to be that healing process, or start to deal with it, or even just that nod, yeah, okay, I see you, you're there, and you can continue on from there. So hopefully you're feeling grounded in with those nice big breaths. If you'd like to set an intention for your class, I always love to set one. Just helps me stay a little bit more centered and purposeful throughout my practice. So some ones that I commonly suggest are maybe you're looking for gentleness and you want to be really kind to your body and stay soft through the poses. Or maybe you want strength and you really want to find that edge in every pose, every movement. Can you hold it for the full length or find the full expression? Or maybe you're working on flexibility, and instead of working for the strength of it, you're trying to reach that little bit further, or whatever that may look like. So those are my suggestions for you, but if you've got something else that comes to mind, by all means feel free to use really anything that comes to mind. So let's take a couple more nice big breaths in, really filling those lungs, seeing if you can slow down the breath. So it's not just about breathing deeply, but we're also adding length onto the inhale as well as the exhale. So breathing in nice and big and slow. Exhaling, starting to let it go. Another big breath in, really slowly breathing in through the nose, filling the lungs bit by bit, maybe filling into the abdomen, getting those nice big belly breaths going. Feeling that nice movement of breath through the body. And then as you continue breathing, maybe you wiggle into fingers, wiggle into toes, maybe roll wrists and ankles, start to get some of those cracks and pops out. I'm going to come off my feet because I can feel they're starting to fall asleep a little bit. So moving around. Excellent. Maybe if you're seated, you're rolling through the shoulders, taking a little sway from side to side. I actually want to start in a reclined position. So as you're inviting some movement, and if you were seated or even standing, let's roll on back and down. Make sure those shoulders have lots of space on them. Bend the knees and plant the feet in towards the mat. Feel how that low back is really pressing in. Maybe even feel some subtle adjustments through the spine. Or maybe that's just me and I really need to go to the chiropractor. I hope they reopen soon. Excellent. So playing around just with the breath here. So as we just stay relaxed, take a nice big inhale. Fill the lungs as much as possible. Feel that length, keep holding, and then on the exhale, let's start to engage through the core. So starting to pull the belly button in towards the spine. You might even notice a little tuck of the pelvis, like you're tucking the tailbone under. Excellent. Take one more. Nice big breath. Let everything relax. Softening all throughout. And then on the exhale, pull everything in, almost like you were hollowing or being like an ice cream scoop, pulling everything in so much that you were rounding lots towards the inside. Excellent. And then on that inhale, use that breath to release, relax. Take that big exhale, start to pull everything in, engaging maybe not just through the core, maybe start to squeeze the glutes in a little bit or really kind of pull those lower ribs in, really connecting in. Excellent. Let's take one more of those. So nice big inhale to release. And last one, exhale, pulling that core in. And this time we're going to try to keep that core still pulled in, maybe not the full engagement of the ribs and the glutes, as we start to invite some movement into this. So now let's press into the feet. Let's lift the hips up off the ground. Get the nice stretch through the front body. Maybe you reach your hands back for the heels. Maybe you interlace the fingers and actively pull the hands down. See how that'll lift through the heart. Maybe you'll even come up a little higher on those shoulders. Just becoming aware of how that little pull can really change through the body. Keep pressing those hips up nice and strong. Excellent. And then from here, I'm going to plant my hands down in towards the mat. That'll make this a little bit more gentle. And I'm just making sure my feet are tracking forward and my knees are over my feet. So finding that nice stability through each foot, maybe a bit through the hands, the arms, and the shoulders. Chin is nicely tucked. And then I'm going to extend one leg long, give that heel a little tap, and bring it back in. Go towards the other leg. So coming into some bridge heel taps here. If you want to keep this gentle, you can stay soft, just hovering the hips off the ground, maybe just a millimeter or an inch, just not feeling that huge connection. If you want more, you're trying to stay nice and press up, glutes engaged here. Then you extend, and maybe you don't touch down onto the ground, but you come to that hover. If you want more here, instead of bending the knee, you can go all the way down, come all the way up, and then plant the foot. So down and up. Excellent. So as you bring that foot up, you can even add an extra little pulse, trying to kick it up. Just becoming aware of the body. Alternating from side to side, just to see how you might need to stabilize between one side, or the transition from one side to the other. Starting to maybe feel the heartbeat a little bit more. Starting to become, I don't know what movement I'm doing. I'm doing some kind of up, kick, and down. Trying to build up a little bit more intensity here. That's what we'll call it. We'll say that was planned. Excellent. Let's take a couple more on either side. So that's one side and the next. Let's do one more each side. Beautiful. Bend both feet in, press in, lift those hips nice and tall and high. Notice how the neck is feeling, how are the shoulders, how are those hips, and let's roll down nice and slow. Coming all the way down, connecting that low back in with the mat. Hover the knees over the hips and take some gentle rocks from side to side. So you can drop all the way down to the ground if you want, or if you want just a touch more core, just having this nice release from side to side, not coming all the way down. Excellent. All right, let's find that stillness. Knees over the hips, maybe those feet come towards that nice 90 degree. I'm going to interlace the hands and hold the head up and the shoulders up, adding some more intensity. So if at any point you have the neck is sore, you can always lower the hands down or even release the hands if you need to tuck them under the sits bones for that extra little bit of support. So as I'm holding the head here, I'm just going to one at a time extend one leg and then the next leg. Bringing it back, coming into that same motion, but feel how that's working some different areas through the core. So it's less of a glute exercise, more of those lower abdominals. To keep this easier, you can touch closer towards the body. To bring it harder, bring the knees an inch or two away off of the hips and try to have that be your whole point. And then keep floating the legs, one and the next, keeping them farther. That uses way more of those lower abdominals. So maybe you want to kick it up a little bit, getting more of the blood pumping, increasing the speed, feeling into those hip flexors. Keep pulling that belly button in towards the spine, letting that be your stabilizing. If you notice the belly is pressing out, take a little moment, reset, plant the feet down, pull that core in, and then come right back up and into it, feeling that bit of strength and stability. Excellent. So we're starting to feel nice and warm here, maybe. And maybe we're ready to add the arms and the elbows. So coming across the body, getting into those obliques. Keep pressing that low back down. Keep feeling that warmth. A couple more on this side. Excellent. Keep it going for 3, 2, and 1. Excellent. Plant the feet. Roll the head back down. Drop the knees from side to side. Windshield wiper to release. Nice big breath. Fill the lungs. Exhale. Let it go. Beautiful. Let's find that stillness. Feeling that low back pressing in. And let's just take a little moment here to bring those knees back over the hips. Maybe you grab onto the legs, coming into that nice waterfall position. Send the heels up towards the ceiling. So maybe your knees are super bent. Maybe you've got tight hamstrings or a tight low back. That's totally a great option. As you find length, you can start to extend those feet nice and straight. Maybe you massage the back of the hammies. I'm liking this rocking back and forth motion. That's feeling really good on my low back. Excellent. Flex through the toes. Feel that length across the back line of the legs. Let's point through the toes. Take a moment and flex. Beautiful. Then let's bend through the knees, hug the knees in towards the chest. Nice tuck of the chin. Excellent. And let's just hold on towards the right leg. You can let the left leg go a little bit long, extending it completely. Just starting to hug that leg in. Nice, quick little break. And then let's transition this into a twist. So I'm holding onto that right leg with the left hand and rolling onto that left hip, coming into just a gentle twist. Maybe look towards the right. Just a quick little breath here. Then let's roll it back. Give that knee a nice big squeeze. And let's switch towards the other leg. So holding onto that left knee and send the right long or bring a bend to it. And hugging it in towards the chest. Just that nice quick squeeze. Excellent. And then hold on with that right hand. Twist things over towards the right. Coming up onto that right hip. Excellent. Let's untwist. Give that knee a nice big squeeze in and send the legs long. And then make your way up into a seated position. So whether you want to hug the knees back in and rock and roll up, massaging on that spine, or simply roll onto one side and make your way up. Whatever feels best. So maybe you want to stack ankle over ankle or ankle in front. Sitting nice and tall, roll those shoulders back and down. Extending long through that crown of the head. Pull those ribs in, engage through the core. Let's start to warm up through the arms and the spine. Take that nice big inhale breath to reach the arms up. Have the arms or the hands come to connection and draw a nice line down the middle of the body. While using that exhale breath. Let's inhale, press the arms back up, reach up nice and tall. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, keep those hands together, press all the way up. Exhale, back down. If you want more from this, let's keep pressing into those hands. So I'm activating into the arms, rolling those shoulder blades back and down, and I'm keeping that pressure all the way up. And then on that exhale, still pressing in towards the hands, remembering to breathe. And let's take 2 more. Bring it down. Last one, keep pressing, reach up. Hands to heart center, great work. Relax the hands, give everything maybe a nice little shake. Let's inhale, just reach the arms up nice and wide. Then let's come into a nice little side bend. So I'm going to come into a steeple, interlacing the fingers, having pointer fingers reaching up, pulling in through the core and tipping over towards one side. Keep pressing into those hips. Take a nice big breath, maybe tip over a little bit more. And come all the way up. And over towards the other side. Maybe go a little deeper, maybe reach a little farther. Then come all the way back up, hands to heart center. Excellent. Let's switch the feet. So getting into that nice non-dominant side. Finding those sits bones. And let's inhale, reach the arms up. So reaching out this time. Hands to heart center, just gently pulling in. Release the hands, reach out. Let's maybe add a little back bend or simply tipping the head back. Hands to heart center, maybe take a nice little bow. Exaggerating the motion through the spine. Connecting with the breath. Excellent. Hands to heart center. Pressing in, rolling those shoulders back. Keeping that core nice and engaged, and just a quick little twist. So my hands are staying at the center. I'm not reaching for the knee like I've done in those last couple, so just twisting through the core. Then exhale, release. Back to center, take a full breath here. And then twist over towards the other side. Maybe you squeeze a little deeper. Keep pressing that back shoulder farther back. Keep pulling your front shoulder more forward. And let's release. And maybe you plant your hands in front, roll right over onto your knees, and coming into a nice all fours position. Excellent. Everything is hooking on everything tonight for me. So, all right, so pressing into those hands, into the knees, nice length through the crown of the head, drop the belly down, start to look up. And round through the spine, looking back at your toes. Start to drop everything down, look up. One more exhale, rounding through. Let's come back to a nice neutral position. Low back is pressing out slightly. And from here, let's simply tuck the toes, press into those hands, coming into a nice downward dog. Reaching nice and tall through those arms. Maybe you're pedaling it out, getting that nice calf stretch. Beautiful. Let's take a little flow here. So coming to our plank position, using that exhale to lower down. Inhale, press up. And exhale, tuck the toes. Meet back in a downward dog. Beautiful. So simply either holding this downward dog, or if you want one more little flow to get that blood pumping a little more, here's a great option. Inhale up. Keep those shoulders away from the ears. And downward dog. Beautiful. All right, let's look towards the front of the mat. Hop, step, jump, or tiptoe into your forward fold. Nice big breath in, feel the lungs. Exhale, let it go. Give the head a nice shake. Maybe dangle through the arms. Let's inhale, halfway lift. Nice flat back. Exhale, bend the knees, sink the hips. Sweep the hands up into chair. Pressing into the heels. And press all the way up to standing, reach up. Hands to heart center. Inhale, reach those arms up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Beautiful. Stepping those right toes back and coming into our warrior two stance. So those right toes are pointing towards that long edge of the mat. Bring a bend to that front knee. Maybe your hands are on your hips. Maybe you reach the hands out. Maybe you sink a little deeper, pressing into the feet. Find that strength through the feet, through the inner thighs. You're pulling them up and in. Bring the belly button in. Beautiful. Nice warrior two. Keep holding. Excellent. Come into our extended side angle. So maybe you're just reaching up overhead, elbow on that leg. If you want more, you can start to reach down and reach up. Here's where a block is really handy. And so if you can't quite reach the ground, grabbing the block at any height or distance, that'll actually give some nice feedback for that shoulder. So if I don't have a screen I can see myself in or a mirror, I usually hang out somewhere like this because I need to keep this hand in my peripheral vision. But when I plant my hand into a block, I can feel that my shoulders aren't quite stacked here, and I can close my eyes and almost feel that I need to reach this hand a little bit higher up. Beautiful. All right, I'm gonna toss my block, but keep it handy and float back up to our warrior two. Excellent. So we're going to take a couple of those little sweeping motions to get into the core. So that exhale and sweep it down, reach up. And right away, let's come back up to our warrior two. Let's come down. Excellent. Float back up. So notice where you're finding your strength from. Let's tip it over. Or the legs nice and strong. Try pressing into the feet more. Then using that strength to pull you up. Let's take two more, and down, and up. Excellent. One more time. Maybe you're feeling some warmth through your shoulders or through the obliques. Beautiful. Let's give this front leg a little break here. So straighten through that leg, kick the hip out, right hip out, reach on forward, and one more time, drop it down. So now we're in a triangle pose. Front leg or left foot is nice and straight, working on that nice hamstring stretch. Here's another great opportunity for that block, for that feedback through the shoulders and through the upper body. Beautiful. If you want to change around your triangle, maybe bring that block or your hand into the outside of the leg. Excellent. All right, let's bring a bend to that knee. Just like we practiced, let's float it up. Nice and strong. Excellent. I feel the need to flip things the other way, even though it's not in my notes. So lock those legs in place. Come into your exalted warrior, your reverse warrior. Bend through that front knee. Get that nice stretch the other way. Excellent. Well, let's float back up. Warrior two. Let's take a couple of those dips on this side. So reaching down, reaching up, and back to warrior two. Squeezing through those obliques. Legs are nice and strong. One more. Reach up, reach down. Meet back, warrior two. Beautiful. Let's look towards the front of the mat. Maybe you heel toe that back foot in a little bit closer and then take a nice big step towards the top. Inhale, sweep those arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Bowing down. Feel that release maybe through the low back. Let's inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bend the knees so you can plant the hands. Maybe take a nice big hop or a little bunny hop back into your nice downward dog. Beautiful. Let's take two flows here, or you can hold your downward dog or take a child's pose. So finding yourself in plank, lower down, press on up, meet back in downward dog. Connecting with that breath, exhales to lower, inhales to press up, exhales back in downward dog. Excellent. All right, stretch it out. If you're in child's pose, let's meet back in this downward dog. Let's look towards the front of the mat. Maybe take a nice big step or a couple little steps into your forward fold. A nice big breath here. Excellent. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bend the knees, sink the hips, sweep the arms up into a nice strong chair pose. Feel that engagement through the core. Then let's press all the way up to standing, reach up. Hands start at center. Using that exhale. Inhale, sweep those arms up. Exhale, hands to heart. Excellent. Stepping now those left toes back. I'm going to just switch sides here so my back's not to the screen. And sinking into this. Finding your warrior two. Maybe bring your hands onto your hips. Finding that depth you want through the legs. And then reach those arms out. Nice and strong. Keep holding here. Adjusting through the hips. And so I'm trying to have my hips point north and south, but I don't want to compromise this top leg. It needs to stay over the knee. So if it starts to bow inwards, keep it over and keep pressing it back. Beautiful. So we're here for our warrior two. Let's reach overhead for that extended side angle. Keep rolling that top arm open. Nice big breath. Beautiful. Keep holding, keep adjusting, pressing into those feet. Using those feet and that core to float you back up. Warrior two. Let's take our 5 little pulses here into that extended side angle. Maybe you reach hands up and down, keeping that nice T position as you simply float and tip through the hips, through the pelvis. So notice here, my legs are not moving as I reach down and reach up. So that means I'm using my core and my legs. Excellent. Let's find ourselves back in that nice warrior two. Sink it down. I'm pretty sure I took 5 there. Keep pressing nice and strong. Let's give that front leg a little break. Straighten through the leg. Pop the hip out towards the left. Keep reaching forward. Drop the hand down. Reach on up. If you want, you can grab your block here. Playing around with that little feedback. Excellent. Feeling that stacking over the shoulders. If you don't have a block, you can even press into the leg. It's not quite the same, but it does help a little bit. Or you can bring that hand towards the back. Maybe that subtle little motion can help you connect in with those shoulders. All right, let's come out nice and safe. Bend through that front knee. And just like we've practiced, sweep on up, warrior two. Let's flip the front palm, lock the legs, and reach on up for that exalted warrior or reverse warrior. Excellent. Maybe hand goes down the leg, or the I'm a little teapot up at the hip, tipping back the other way. Beautiful. Let's lift it back, warrior two. And let's take 5 of those little bends, reaching up and back, and down, up, and down. Feeling that nice stretch through the ribs, through the side body. One more. Reach it up and calm down nice and strong. Beautiful. Let's look towards the front of the mat as I switch my feet here. Then take a nice big step towards the front. Let's inhale, reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Taking a moment here, feeling the difference between one leg and the next. Let's inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bend the knees, plant the hands back. Maybe you take a big old hop back into your downward dog. Excellent. Stretching it out. Let it feel good. Maybe just hang it out here in downward dog or taking your child's pose. Or let's take those 2 flows, finding your plank position. Lower it down. Press on up. Nice and strong. Kneading back in downward dog. Flowing it to your plank. Exhale to lower. Press it up. Meet back downward dog. Beautiful. Finding that strength. Maybe playing around with your downward dog instead of just pedaling out the feet. Lifting one foot off the ground. Coming to that nice knee to knee. Coming to the other side. If you want to sweep up into the full three-legged dog, that's always an option. Alright, meeting back in normal downward dog. Look towards the front of the mat. Hop, step, jump, or tiptoe. Into that forward fold. Nice big breath. Nice full inhale. And an exhale. Beautiful. Let's inhale, halfway lift. Find that length through the spine, through the crown of the head, pressing in, maybe to the hands, roll those shoulders back and down. Bend the knees, sink the hips, hanging out in our chair pose, sweep those arms up. If the shoulders are tired, you can do hands at heart, or the boss arms, interlacing the hands behind the head and opening up through the elbows. Let's inhale all the way up. Reach up nice and tall and strong. Exhale, sink right back into your chair. Feel that strength. Let's lengthen here. So bringing the shoulders over the hips. Still knees nice and bent. And then from here, sink a little lower. Feel that connection into the legs. Press up just a bit. Exhale, lower. One more time. Lengthening. Then lower it down. Beautiful. Let's inhale all the way up. Reach up. Hands to heart center. Release the hands down. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hands to heart. Beautiful. Starting to sense into the feet. Making sure you can have equal distance between left side and right side. Heels and toes. You can feel the toes pressing into the mat. Beautiful. So as I just face towards you, if you need to be close to a wall for a little bit of balance here, that might be a great opportunity to set yourself up as you need to. Let's come into our strong mountain pose, pulling the ribs in, lots of strength through the legs, knees. See, right now my legs are relaxed, so I'm just standing here. But as I strengthen into them, I imagine a band around my legs that I start to press into. I find that strength through the sidelines of my legs, and I zip up the inner thighs. Beautiful. Shoulders roll back and down, palms face forward. Excellent. From here, and start to press extra into those right toes. Start to float the left toes up. Maybe you reach on for the knee, hugging the knee in towards the chest. Maybe you simply hold under the knee, pressing in nice and strong through that standing legs, but keep a little bounce available for that leg. Beautiful. So here's the movement we're going for. Actually, just going to come at a bit of an angle. So it's knee hugging up and in. I'm going to release for more of a challenge. I'm going to bring knee towards knee. So I'm almost in that nice flamingo pose. And then I'm going to bow down and extend. You can either extend the leg, or if you want to stay in flamingo, you can fly out the arms, hanging out here. If you want, you can touch down onto the ground. If you don't want the balance, if you're working on balance, try to keep the arms out. If you're working on strength, really pressing nice and strong. Maybe you reach the arms forward, using more of that core. Oh yeah, nice and balancy. Next, if you're working on flexibility, maybe you touch down to the ground, then try to bring that right leg up or that left leg up for your unicorn pose. All right, let's start to come out of this. So bring that knee back towards the knee. Float all the way up. Bring the knee up. Excellent, great work. Let's bring knee towards knee. Start to tip it back. Maybe you hang out in your flamingo. Maybe you go back down, whatever you're working on. Sometimes half the journey is simply trying it. If you never try it, how do you know what the journey is going to look like? Let's inhale, float on up. Come to standing. Bring the knee up. And plant it down. Great work if you need to pedal that out. Excellent. All right, standing nice and tall and strong. Feeling the difference between one leg and the other. So let's bring that left leg now. Let's bring it in front of the other leg. Then maybe just simply trying to stand and getting both feet planted down. So maybe you're high up on that toe. And half the journey is simply trying to stand here. So squeezing those legs together, pulling that core in. Should be a nice stretch through that right side of the hip. If you want more, we can inhale, sweep those arms up, find that nice length, and then tip it over towards the left. And so we got our little twisted leg moon read happening. Let's inhale up. Exhale over towards the other side. Beautiful. Inhale up. Then from here, maybe you want to try folding forward. So starting to bow down. Tons of stretch through that right IT band. Maybe you reach the hands down a little more. Here's another great opportunity for that block. And so if you've got it handy here, maybe you're trying to press the hands into it. That'll roll those shoulders back and down, keep lengthening through the spine. You can always do so by pressing into the legs. Excellent. So nice and strong through the back. Let's come up halfway, find that length, pressing into each foot equally if you can, and start to float back up. Then release the leg, coming back towards neutral. Great work. Let's sneak another little flow in here. So inhale, reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Maybe feeling the difference between the knees and the legs here. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands. Step, hop, jump back. Into that nice downward dog. Taking 2 little flows here. Letting the elbows graze the ribs as you lower down. Finding that strength as you push back up. I'm still doing this with my knees down here tonight. If you want more of a challenge, you can always stay in high plank position. Whatever you need. I ate an epic amount of pasta this evening, which I don't usually eat. So I'm not feeling the full plank position. All right. So once you've done your 2 flows, take 3 full breaths in a downward dog. Nice big inhale, fill the lungs. And exhale, engage through that core. See if you can pull the belly button in. Inhale to release and relax. Exhale to engage and strengthen. One more big inhale. And exhale, nice and strong. Beautiful. Let's look towards the front of the mat. Maybe take a couple little steps into a nice forward fold. Excellent. Let's inhale. Halfway lift. Find that strength. Bend the knees, sink the hips. Reach those arms up into chair. Maybe sink a little deeper. Press all the way up, reach up. Hands, heart center. Release the hands down. Inhale, reach up. And then sink back into that nice chair pose. Finding that depth that you want to. And adjusting, pulling into the seat, into the heels. Maybe the arms are extended out at T or cactus. Lower boss arms, lower hands at heart. Let's come up ever so slightly. Align the shoulders over the hips and sink it back nice and low. Holding here. Let's come up just a bit. Adjust, lower back down. Come on up. Exhale, lower. Inhale, straighten, lengthen. Exhale, lower back down. Great work. Let's press all the way up to standing. Feeling that nice burn, reach up. Hands to heart center. Beautiful. So coming to face you here. I'll go at that little bit of an angle, I guess this way now. Starting to bring the awareness into the feet, rocking into heels and toes. Weight is balanced between the two. Roll those shoulders back and down. Connect in with that breath. Maybe you feel the heartbeat. And then starting to press extra into that left foot. Start to bring right toes up. Maybe you float the foot up. Maybe you reach around it, hugging it in towards the chest. Nice and strong through that standing leg. And find your balance. Maybe find that drishti point, a little point to focus in on. Beautiful. All right, let's move through into our flamingo here. So maybe you release the hands or you gently lower the knee back down, coming knee to knee, so kicking that foot out behind, and then starting to bow down. Maybe you fly it down, maybe you reach forward, maybe you touch down onto the ground or onto a block. Maybe that foot goes up. Or maybe you stay at knee to knee. Whatever works best for you. I'm going to work on my balance here, so I'm going to just float my hands. All right, let's start to come all the way back up to standing. Pressing into that standing leg. Finding that balance. Nice knee to knee. Bring the leg up, squeeze it up and in. And start to lower it, bring knee to knee. Excellent. And then start to fold it forward. Playing around here. Testing the balance. Maybe the leg goes up. Maybe you fly it. In more of that warrior 3. Beautiful. Playing around. Maybe you fall out of it or fall off to the side. And that's okay. Just stay safe. Tuck and roll if you're falling forward. All right, let's bring that knee to knee. Connections start to stand up. Excellent. Bring that knee upwards. Nice and strong. And gently relax it. And you can march it out, step it out, however you might need to here. Excellent. Let's get in. We got time. Maybe. One more little flow here. Inhale, reach it up. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Taking the time you need here. Feeling one side to the next. Actually, let's inhale, halfway lift. You've got to get that nice stretch in on the other side. So bend the knees, sink that. Press all the way up, standing, reach on up. Hands to heart center. Beautiful. So coming back to bringing that your right leg in front and across to the other side. Working on that nice standing here. This is why I still had time to think of more stuff to throw in. Almost forgot this bad boy. So maybe your hands are on your hips and you're working on getting both feet down. Maybe you're trying to get both feet, the weight into both feet. Let's inhale, reach those arms up. Reaching up nice and tall, pull that core in. Then tip over towards the right. Nice big breath. Pressing into those feet equally, feeling that nice big stretch. Keep holding. And come on back up, reach up. Then over towards the other side. Nice little counter stretch. Big breath. And come on back up. And maybe then now you try for that forward fold. Sweeping all the way down. Maybe reaching for your block or planting hands into the legs. Excellent. Feeling that release, maybe through the back as you dangle. If you really want to work on balance here, try closing your eyes. That might feel really fun. All right. Nice and safe. Let's come up halfway. Lengthen through the spine. Press into the feet. Reach all the way up. Fly it up. Hands to heart center. Uncross. Beautiful. So standing at the top of your mat. Inhale, reach those arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bend the knees, plant the hands. Maybe you take a big old step back into your downward dog. Taking a breath here, feeling that strength through the hands, through the arms, the back. Let's take 2 nice flows. Last 2. So hanging out in your plank position, maybe lower the knees down. And then you lower the body nice and slow. Inhale, press up. Tuck the toes, push it back. And one more nice flow here. Meeting back in downward dog and finding that strength. Nice big breath, holding for 3 breaths here. So trying to connect in. Maybe try that breath from beginning where you take that inhale to release, then exhale to engage through the core, pull it up and in. Inhale to let it go. Exhale, pull it all up and in. It's kind of hard to talk as you're pulling it in. Let it go, last one. Beautiful. Let's drop those knees down nice and wide. And maybe you sit back on the heels for your child's pose, or you hang out in that puppy pose, where you just melt the heart down. Hips are over the knees. So whichever of those you would prefer. We can try one, change your mind, try the other. Lots of great options. Starting to connect inward again. How are you feeling? How is that heartbeat? Excellent. Start to press back in to that nice tabletop position. Beautiful. So knees and hips are in line, wrists and shoulders. If those wrists are sore, you can take a little moment, give them a nice shake out after those downward dogs. Excellent. So taking a little moment here. So I'm aligning one of my hands with my shoulder and a little bit more with my face so that I can sweep it up. Exhale. Imagine threading through that needle, but we're not coming down, so we're just reaching on that other side. Reach on up. So taking just a couple of these little pulses and down. So if you need to adjust that hand position and find what works for you. Oftentimes I tried to do the whole thread the needle thing, but my hand was so far out or off the side of my mat that I could never figure out how to make that work. Excellent. One more here. Reach it under, reach it up, plant the hand, nice and strong. Let's come into the other side. So reach it up, thread it under, just reaching through. Reach on up. If you want more, like tons more, you can do these from a side plank. Thought that wouldn't be the most gentle option for you, but this way we're still getting lots of motion through that shoulder as we rotate up and then rotate down. So as we reach up, it's like we're stacking shoulder over shoulder, and as we reach through, our shoulders are squared with the ground. Beautiful. Let's come reach on up one more time. Find that neutral, finding both hands down. Excellent. And then round through the spine, nice angry cat. Yet starting the opposite way, drop the belly down. If you've never tried throwing some cat-cow in at the end of your practice, it's really quite blissful because usually the body is nice and warmed up by now. Then you can get into some of those smaller little stabilizing muscles, those little micro muscles. Give them a nice stretch too. Beautiful. All right. Come to a nice flat back. Excellent. And then maybe from here, you come up into a little toe stand. Maybe you hop your toes around, so I'm facing the wrong way, and maybe so are you. And then you simply roll it on back and down, hugging the knees into the chest. So if you think that's really fun, you can try that a couple of times, trying to come up to seated, or even all the way up to standing and rolling down and up. I can't quite get up to standing. I think I just can't quite tuck my feet underneath my sits bones. I'd like to get there one day, though. I won't get there if I never practice, though. Well, that is for a not on camera moment. I'm not that bold yet. All right, hugging those knees in towards the chest. Let's take a couple of moments resetting through the spine here. So add that little bit of resistance, pulling onto the knees, push the knees in towards the hands, roll those shoulders back and down. Resetting longer through the crown of the head. Try to tuck the elbows in. Excellent. And then exhale, release. Bring the knees to a hover over the hips. Reach those arms out wide, like that nice T position. And then drop the legs towards your favorite side. You can just pick a side. We'll do both. If you want more, you can bring that hand on top of the knee. Maybe you gaze towards the opposite side of the legs. Excellent. Nice big breath. Fill the lungs. Exhale, let it go. So release the knee. Return the neck to neutral. Swing those legs all the way up. Find neutral and drop them down towards the opposite side. Maybe gaze goes towards the opposite side of the legs. Maybe your hand comes on top of the legs to just gently add that bit of weight into the legs, twisting a little bit deeper. Nice big breath in, fill the lungs. And exhale, let it go. Maybe you sigh it out. Let's return the neck or head to neutral. Release the legs. Swing those knees up over the hips. Reach on through the knees for the feet, coming into that final pose, that happy baby or final guided pose. Feeling all those little adjustments or pressure through the spine as you find that length. Maybe you're playing around with it a little bit, trying to extend the legs, or rocking from side to side. Maybe you want the little happy baby cobbler pose, bringing the soles of the feet in, pulling the feet in, pushing the knees out. And now take a little moment to listen to your body. Is there an area that's still feeling really tight that might still need a little bit of work? Is there a pose or movement you can think of that will start to get into that? For me, it's my upper back. I'm going to take one more nice little bridge pose. Feel that little stretch through my shoulders. Maybe you just want reclined cobbler. Maybe you want a longer twist or a fetal position if you want to roll onto one side. Maybe you just want to windshield wiper the legs from side to side. Whatever you need to do before you start to settle in to that nice final Shavasana. So as you're moving around, start to connect in with the breath. Feel the movement of breath throughout the body. Taking some time to feel how you're feeling. Starting to sense in, building that awareness. I will leave you for your Shavasana so that you can take as long as you need. Taking some time to maybe get that 15 to 20 full lengths of breath is always what I like to recommend. But feel free to take exactly what you need. Lots of times, just sitting in our own stillness and our own quietness is one of the hardest things that we could possibly do. I was chatting with a friend about that today because that stillness, that quietness really makes you introspective. It like shines a mirror on yourself. And are you happy just to sit with your own company? a lot of times we try to stay so busy so that we never have to sit with ourselves. And it's so funny how we can just be so harsh at those moments. So if that's your struggle, if you're laying there and you can't wait to jump on up and get to the next task or next busyness, or if you're reaching for your phone, see if you can just take some time just with yourself. It's not always having to be isolation, having to retreat and hide from everything. You can transform it into more of that solitude, where it's restorative for the body and for the mind, but it also might be work. Maybe you need to take time to involve yourself in a little self-love. So maybe your Shavasana this evening is your opportunity to start to love yourself. So maybe you just think of one thing that you're proud of from your practice. I'm so glad that I was able to swing my legs around in that weird little cross-legged stand. And I tried the forward fold part. Like, way to go, celebrate that. Absolutely. Find things, find little wins. If you can find 2 or 3 even little wins every day, you'll start to feel more victorious in your life. Stole that from John Maxwell, so thanks, Johnny, for that. All right, as I leave you here, I just thank you so much for joining me this evening with this practice. Feel free to share this with anyone you so desire. I do these publicly for free. Just to get yoga out there, because it's more than just movement. It's healing of the soul and the body and so many cool things. So feel free to share. I would love to share yoga with as many people as I can, or invite them to join in with us live at 8 p.m. every night. So have a great evening. Thanks for letting me shamelessly plug myself at the end of practice. I hope that the rest of your evening is filled with joy, or many moments of joy, and that you may always be blessed. Thank you, and namaste.